Good evening. Thousands of people have taken to the Melbourne streets to protest against the Andrews government's pandemic laws. Just before this afternoon's rally began, the state opposition called for Victorians to fight on every level.
The controversial new pandemic bill will be debated in the Upper House next week, but outside Parliament today there was no debate, instead a unified message.
Don't pass that draconian bill.
Kill the bill.
Does everybody like kill the bill?
This new pandemic bill, God help us if that comes through, because basically that gives him complete control.
They gathered at the State Library, then marched to State Parliament with their flags and their fingers. One on horseback.
A lot of punishment coming.
The state opposition pushing for stronger action now.
I would encourage Victorians to fight on every level against Daniel Andrews' terrible pandemic bill.
Their concern, the powers granted to the Premier in the unprecedented pandemic bill. But speculation it's going to be amended to get it passed through the Upper House with the help of independents isn't enough to calm this crowd.
We're always going to be underdance them. We're always going to have to obey by his rules.
Gives him unadulterated powers. He can declare a pandemic even if there is no pandemic. He can arrest people and detain them for 2 years.
The changes are terrifying.
This is not about our health. This is about you trying to control us.
I'm not an anti-vaxxer, I'm not a pro-vaxxer. I'm a pro-choicer.
Among the speakers, federal MP Craig Kelly.
The Premier of this nation is a bully and a fascist and an abuser of human rights.
And State Liberal MP Bernie Finn.
If you think things are bad now, just wait until the pandemic bill goes through the Parliament, if indeed it does next week. This bill is so evil. It is so wrong. Despot Dan wants to become an emperor.
Many of the people that you see here are just normal everyday people worried about their jobs, they're worried about their kids, they're worried about their rights being infringed, and they want to take a stand for it.
Government is answerable to the people, and I'm not talking like some lynch mob kind of things. It's up to us to become proactive in the political process.
It's become a regular sight on our streets, and they'll be back. Another protest organised Saturday next week called the Worldwide Rally for Freedom, and instead of just being in Melbourne, it will be in cities around Australia and the world.
They need to know there's an election coming, providing he doesn't ban it, anything could happen.
It's gone through extensive consultation with the health experts, with human rights experts, and importantly, of course, we need a better system to be able to deal with any future pandemics.
As trams were delayed and diverted for hours, a hot new item was a Dan Andrews inflatable, selling for $40.
It's supposed to be a punching bag. I didn't buy it for that reason. I love the slogan, get on the beers and pull Dan's ears.
But some did more than pull his ears, using their feet instead.
Enough is enough. Business is already hard enough as it is without having these political rocks thrown in their road.
Paul Dowsley joins us live now. Paul, with restrictions eased, it was a different police response today.
A real step back, Mike, restrained and subdued with smaller police numbers. No riot squad visible on the streets, for instance, but they were keeping a close eye at every turn, particularly making sure Parliament was protected. This protest was technically a breach of our coronavirus restrictions at the moment. Only 30 are allowed to gather outside at events like this where you can't check in. But it seems police today weren't looking to enforce that, Mike. There were no arrests today.
OK, Paul, thank you.